Hey, everybody, welcome back to Will and Wise, the Dog Show Drive.
Canadian edition.
I'm Will Alexander.
And I'm Y.
You certainly are.
Yes.
So this week on the Dog Show Drive, we're going to talk about, basically, we're going to get into a lot of talk about dog shows and how to improve them. Are we seeing too many repeat judges?
Too many.
Why are we having this problem with numbers at dog shows? Is it because we have too many shows in certain areas? And we're also going to talk about firsts, your first big experience at a dog show. We want to hear about your first big experience at dog shows. So all that
and more
on this week's edition of Will and Wise, the Dog Show Drive.
Canadian edition.
How's it going?
I will. It's going good. It's going good.
Excellent.
I was a little late for taping, so
that's all right. That's all right.
I had stuff to do.
Yeah, it's all right. I know mine's not movie quality, but that's okay. No one will even get that. What's new? Did you do anything this weekend?
No.
Nothing. No.
No, nothing. I just, I stayed home because we were at camp, as we all know. I was at camp and then we came home and, then there's yard work at home to get done, of which I didn't do any. Darren did it. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Let's be real. And, no, I just watched a lot of sports because, the Wimbledon was on.
The Wimbledon.
So I watched...
You watched Wimbledon.
I watched Wimbledon, which I watched Wimbledon like from start to finish. I watch everything.
There's no T in Wimbledon.
I know. And that's just my northern accent.
Oh, Greg.
Okay, because I'm telling you right now, when I see you in person...
You're going to punch me right in the suck hole.
Right in the... I'm going to do a heart stopper on you, even though I'm not allowed to anymore.
No.
And the other big thing that was on this weekend, for the past week, and it basically runs almost the exact same time as Wimbledon, is the Calgary Stampede.
Oh.
So, and I watch that. I watch that every day as well. So
yeah.
I gets me excited. First 2 weeks of July is very busy sports time.
Did I do anything this weekend?
Probably not. Did you convalesce some more?
Yeah, I did.
There you go. So, and then I did have a dog show close to me, but I didn't attend. It was the Duluth Kennel Club dog show, which a lot of people from Thunder Bay go to because it's only 3 to 4 hours away, and it's held in a wonderful facility down in Duluth called the Deck, the Duluth Entertainment Center. So all climate controlled right there on the lakefront. So it's beautiful.
Nice. Nice.
So
I did. Oh, I know what I did. Linda Torrance came on Saturday and we did some work. And then, because we're both members of the Old York Kennel Club, and then Colin and Andre came and we went and had lunch.
That's delightful.
That was fun. Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't do any big dog stuff this weekend. So
no. Sometimes we need to give ourselves a break from the dog stuff.
I'm off to judge this weekend though. I'm in Miramichi on Friday, and then I'm in New York on Sunday.
Oh, look at you go!
I know.
You are
on
busy.
The road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. Yeah. I did want to mention something. I want to do this right now before I forget.
Yes.
I noticed Don Sturr posted this. It's for Take the Lead. Attention, Texas and surrounding areas. Disaster support available. Attention
Right.
members of the dog community affected by floods, tornadoes, and other natural disasters. We are here to help. Take the Lead is ready to provide temporary emergency assistance to qualified individuals in the sport of purebred dogs. Please reach out today. TakeTheLead.org.
It's an awesome
And that's
organization.
very important. Take the Lead does a wonderful job, and we have an organization up here. Best Friends is the same idea. So yeah, it's just Take the Lead does a wonderful job. I wanted to get that out there before we forgot.
Yes, because we forget a lot.
Tend to forget things. We get gabbing away
because we're two chatty Cathys.
I know. Like last weekend, we missed something that happened at the Norwood cluster of shows. It was an unfortunate event. Again, we talked last week. We talked about heat at dog shows.
Yep.
And how to deal with it, and how the club should deal with it, how the owner should deal with it, how the handler should deal with it. But last week there was an unfortunate incident with a Neapolitan Mastiff. I don't want to go into big details. I don't want to point the finger at anybody, but I want to say it sounds more like naive neglect almost. You know what I mean? Like they didn't realize what they had and
how fast that happens.
How fast it can happen to a breed like that. And there was a lot of people. There was a lot of assistance, and people tried. And I don't know the deep details, and some of the details that I've heard are very unnerving about how the dog was left after he was deceased. So I don't want to. I don't want to go into it yet, but if that's the case, I really think the CKC should step in and find out exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So,
and
then last week we got a message from Ian Rasmussen from Australia. He's a wonderful guy. I think we spoke about him last week, and he sent us. They have actual laws for each of their states, and Queensland has a heat and extreme weather policy that the dogs of Queensland and affiliated clubs need to adhere to. I can't read it properly, but you've been through it.
Yeah, I have stronger glasses on, I guess. So they're heat and extreme.
I am a judge now, so I don't see very well. So
well, this is true. Is that what's going to happen to me? I already have crappy eyesight. Anyhow, heat and extreme weather policy. Dogs Queensland expects all affiliated clubs to adhere to the following. So that's just Queensland's a province essentially in Australia.
Or is it a state? I don't know how they call it.
I don't know. I don't know. I assumed it was
a state, but I'm not sure.
Do they call it a state? Okay, well, potato, tomato.
An area. An area in Australia.
An area. It's a designated area. So number one, extreme weather, heat. And they go through where the weather forecast issued by the Bureau of Meteorology, Queensland, on their website is for the location nearest to any exhibition at 10 a.m. on the day, which is 2 days before the scheduled commencement time of the exhibition, indicates extreme weather, 35 degrees or more. That's their benchmark. For the date of the exhibition, the following will apply. And then they says note, special provisions apply for lure coursing and sprint dog. And they give a referral. So we'll see what they mean by that. The committee conducting the exhibition must make a decision as to whether to cancel the exhibition or amend the start time. And that has to be done no later than 36 hours prior to the scheduled commencement of the exhibition. So you would know going in whether they're calling it off, just because the forecasting of it is detrimental basically to exhibitors and dogs. And then number two, any decision which is taken in accordance with 1.1 above must be made available to the exhibits within 4 hours by every possible means of communication, uploading the information onto the Dog Queensland website, electronic media, verbal, telephone, et cetera, text messaging. So that's, that's basically just communicating across to all exhibitors and participants what is going on. And then number two, where any exhibition and they make note of lure coursing and sprint dog. It appears the temperature is rising to levels of approximately 35 degrees Celsius or higher. It is the responsibility of the committee event manager to monitor the temperature on at least 15-minute intervals. So that's right. That's very involved. That's very involved. So where possible, these readings should be taken using the Bureau of Meteorology observations or otherwise at the sole discretion of the committee event manager for the location nearest to the exhibition venue. And then it also states on any occasion where the temperature observation on 2 successive readings exceeds 40 degrees, like that is blazing hot.
That sure is.
That is blazing hot. 40 degrees Celsius.
So double it at 30 for all our American friends.
Yeah. The exhibition is to be immediately canceled with no further judging to take place after the announcement. So they have an immediate. So then it also goes on to say whenever an exhibition is being conducted in hot or humid conditions, such conditions are to be determined at the sole discretion of the committee event manager. The following recommendations are made to assist in expediting completion of the exhibition. They are not intended to be exhaustive and affiliates, club and members are reminded to consider carefully their individual conditions and circumstances. And I think that's an important note. So if you know you can't deal with the heat, don't deal with the heat. Get out of there.
Don't deal with the heat, even though, that's what we said last week. The owner should ultimately go down to the owner and handler of the dogs if they're going to do it or not. Anybody else can get, like, if someone says, "Oh no, we're going to go," it doesn't matter about the weather. You decide for yourself if you're going to be comfortable, if your dogs are going to be comfortable.
Yeah, that's right.
Like I said, responsibility is yours.
Yeah. Like I said to Faith the other day, we were talking about entering a show, and I said, you can enter a show. Just because you're entered does not mean you have to show.
That's right. That's right.
You know? So then also another point is whenever an exhibition is being conducted in hot or humid conditions, such conditions are to be determined at the sole discretion. Did I just read that? I think I did. Oh, yeah, I did read that part. So clubs conducting exhibitions should ensure that fresh water is easily available for exhibitors and exhibits, provide the location of taps. There should be several taps available at large exhibitions. So basically, you do have to manage your facility to make sure it can accommodate the extreme heat. Provide shade for exhibitors and dogs in the assembly areas. Ensure judges are aware that exhibitors and exhibits can be directed to leave the ring for shelter and then come back into the ring for the final selection. So that's, I think that for us handlers, we don't even think about it. You know, if we're not being judged, we're out of there. We find the shade, we find the cool. A lot of times judges and novice judges and novice handlers, it's just one more thing that they may not be aware of. And they need to, get out of the heat, get out of the, the hot sunlight, and you don't need to.
Some judges need to be aware of where they're working in the ring. Shade is provided in most rings, but you'll find a lot of judges will examine in the sun. You're just going to wear yourself out and leave yourself open to problems. I remember Maxine Beam one time they put the table out in the sun for her, and she marched herself out there, grabbed that table, and put it back in the shade. I'm not standing out in the sun all day long.
Exactly. Well, because it's exhausting. The heat can be, we both know. Ensure judges, I read that, provide towels or similar covers to be placed on the examination tables, because that's the other thing. If the table is in the sun, that table gets really hot. Not so much now, but before, they were always black topped.
Yeah, they should never be in the sun, the examination tables.
Well, they shouldn't.
Even if it's an open ring and you have easy ups, put an easy up over top of the examination area. That's not fair,
Yeah. Provide regular announcements about the dangers of dogs being left in cars, trailers, and closed tents, heat exhaustion. Postpone the luncheon break until after the conclusion of the exhibition. So if you have a lunch break scheduled, maybe it's, you work through the lunch break so that judging can be completed
before the heat hits.
before, the highest amount of heat hits. Postpone or cancel scheduled events which do not form part of the main competition. Junior handling, other demonstrations, etc. And that's we sit here and we can talk about that right now. That's just, to us, that's just common sense. But a lot of times on the day, people are excited, or they've been looking forward to something, but it's just not conducive to do so.
It's not safe,
No. Exactly. And then consider future scheduling of the exhibition as an evening event. So if you have to stop the show, maybe stop it and then, say at 6:00, we'll reconvene and complete the judging.
Yeah.
Stuff
Get
like
some
that.
big lights. Big lights. Where are we going to get those big lights? From Batman?
Batman, Home Depot, same thing, There's one other thing here. It says, if at any exhibition or an exhibitor considers that the heat conditions are or may be prejudicial to the comfort or welfare of their exhibits, they may leave the grounds with no penalty or other consequence in relation to any award that may have previously been made at the exhibition. However, they must inform the event manager to be exempt from Rule 70, which is probably a...
So that's like saying if you won the group,
yeah,
and it was too hot for you to stay for best in show, you need to tell them and then leave.
Yeah, and then your points are still, everything that you've been awarded will stay awarded up until that point. Yeah, and I think that's
important. That last one is very important because that's the onus of the owner or handler.
Yes,
and I think that's people try to blame clubs. Bottom line, you are in control. You are responsible for your dog's welfare. If you think it's wrong, screw the dog show and go home.
Yep. Screw you guys. I'm going home.
I'm going home. We're idiots.
We are.
Screw you guys. I'm going home. All right. Let's move on.
So that shall conclude our heat exhaustion session.
We're exhausted about the heat exhaustion. Yes. But thank you, Ian. That was very informative, and it's good to know. I think it's really important to know that they have that kind of ruling.
They've actually structured
dog clubs.
They've structured something.
The state having something to say about exhibitions. So
that's excellent. Most excellent. Are we just carrying on now?
Carry on.
All right. So now we're going to carry on.
I know.
Okay, stop.
You just have to deal with us.
Yeah, you do. Because now that, we did the Cartman thing, now I just want to sing in my head. And then you did that. Okay, never mind. Across Canada.
King Kamehameha, bitch. As mom is. Never mind.
Across Canada, driven by Show Scene magazine. Show Scene, where every dog takes center stage. All right, so we have out in Vancouver, in Saskatchewan, BC, July 9th and 10th. There was two shows. That's what's on our agenda thing. Total entry was 417, slightly up from the previous year at 407. And but the other thing that's happening right now out there as well is the it'll be over by the time we hit the air, but is the Frank Kane seminar.
Yeah, but I wanted to go on and talk about the Victoria Club too, because it's interesting because it looks like they clustered.
They did cluster. How about that? They clustered.
How about them apples?
How about them apples? Yeah. So Victoria City Kennel Club on the July 11th through the 13th, they had 3 shows, and their entry, they went down a bit. It was 733, and in 2024 it was 780. But I don't know if they had a different
Yeah, now see, they clustered, so that gave them 5 shows
Yeah.
in 5 days. I think a cluster shouldn't be that spread out. I think they should have taken the 3 days and made the first day Vancouver Island Dog Fanciers and the last 2 days Victoria City Kennel Club. And
Yeah.
I think they would
Drop
have
the
got a.
day.
I think you probably would have seen a rise in the
Yeah.
entries, and it would have been a win for Vancouver Island Dog Fanciers. I'm
Yeah.
glad they clustered, though. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
and that
Because the
brings
ninth
us
and
to
the Frank Kane seminar.
yeah, because Frank Kane's noted sporting authority, Frank Kane from the UK, he was there. I guess he was judging on the weekend as well. But on Monday and Tuesday, 14th and 15th, he held the Under the Gun, Exploring the Gun Dog Group, a seminar about judging gun dogs. And by all accounts, we like obviously there's still day 2 while we're recording, but day 1 I looked at the results and they had a great turnout. I can't
Oh,
imagine.
super.
I wish I could have been in attendance because Frank's a very very
Yeah.
intelligent guy to listen to talk. I always love spending time with him. He was here last year for I think it was Aurora, and I got to spend a little bit of time with him at Aurora. So. Yeah,
Yeah, I looked at flights to get out there too. I really wanted to go. Just the timing was not.
Well, the timing wasn't good for me as well because I just had the
Oh,
surgery, so I didn't
surgery.
know where I'd be sitting at this point in time. I didn't know if I'd be capable of actually going there. So
Yeah.
it's a shame. I wish I could have. So I'm sure everybody enjoyed it. I'm sure they learned immense amount of knowledge about judging the gun dogs. So
Yes.
the mighty group, the gun dogs.
And who that was put on the what group put that on? That was it was
I
a
do have
judges
it
group.
here.
Was it the
It was
Vancouver
hosted by the
Island?
Vancouver Island Dog Judges Study Group.
Yes. Good job. Good job.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
All right. Carry on.
So now heading eastward from BC, Wascana Dog Club on the 11th through the 13th in Balgonie, Saskatchewan.
That was their first show, I think, wasn't it?
Yes.
Wascana, yeah.
Yeah, and that was 6 shows, and they had a total entry of 979. That's great.
That's fabulous. Good for them.
Yep. And then the Sault Ste. Marie Kennel Club, July also over the weekend. They had 6 shows and they had a total entry of 463, which basically held steady from the previous year at 467.
Yeah.
Yep. And then London Canine, they were on the 10th through the 13th.
So one. No, that's right. Sorry, go on. But they only had 4 shows.
4 shows, and that's in Elmer, Ontario.
Yep.
And that their total entry was 4 shows, 367, and the previous year was 580. Did they have more shows the previous year? Is it that's just a drop, eh?
Was it drop?
4 shows. I get it. Megan put it. I just figured out our code on our. I'm smart. SMRT smart. Okay. I got it now. I got this.
But then you go to Club Canin, the one in Rimouski or Mont Julie, Quebec.
Yeah. 6 shows, and they also had an entry of 957. And there was
But that's all the same weekend. And if you were energetic, you could have gone to any of those shows that weekend.
And what are you saying? I'm lazy?
No, I'm just saying that they're all within driving distance of each other.
Yeah,
it's a haul, but people do it.
Yeah.
But that I hate to say it, but they got pretty good numbers in the Quebec show.
Yeah.
But the 2 Ontario shows battling against each other, I think they hurt each other.
Yep, for sure.
This is an ongoing problem we have. We just don't have the dog population to fill up these events that have 2 shows in the same weekend.
Yeah.
Within what is London to Sault Ste. Marie? What is it? 6 hours if you cut across America? Maybe. Maybe more. Maybe 7. But it's still that's driving distance. There's a lot of people that drive in between shows for that. That's driving distance.
Yep. Yeah. So
and I did also notice that the show in Quebec They brought in a lot of interesting judges. So did London brought in an Irish judge as well. It's just a shame that they had to battle against each other that weekend.
Yeah.
So I think it hurt all. Probably in retrospect, it probably hurt all three shows to some degree. So.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. And then just finally, Cape Breton on the Saturday and Sunday in Upper Brookside, Nova Scotia. They had 4 shows. Their entry was up. It went to 413, and the previous year was only 379. So
good for them. Excellent.
Yeah. And the note here that Megan gave us, only the prairies had shows with over 200 plus dogs per day. Only 1 show in the middle of 3 provinces.
Yeah. How about them apples?
Yeah.
And that's because they have the one show.
Yep.
And if you build it, they will come.
They
you give
will
them too
come.
many choices, it waters it down. So.
Yep. Yeah. So that was Across Canada, presented to you by Dog Show Magazine, Show Scene,
Magazine.
where every dog takes center stage. Yeah. Then we have our upcoming shows brought to you by Canuck Dogs, your source for Canadian canine event information online. And this is for August because July is already half over. Do you know that, Will? July is already half over.
It's okay. It was a tumultuous June and July for me, and I'm feeling good.
Yeah. Sorry.
What's that Michael Bublé song?
And I'm feeling good. Faith did a solo to that.
That goes through my head all month.
Yeah. And I'm feeling good. Okay, Markham Kennel Club, August 19th and 20th, closes on August 5th, and it's 4 all-breed shows. The Elgin County Kennel Club in Dorchester, Ontario, August 21st through to the 24th, and it closes on August 6th. 4 all-breed shows, limited breed shows for groups 1, 3, 6, and 7. And then we have Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry Dog Association, otherwise known as SDNG, in Maxville, Ontario, starting on August 22nd and ending on the 25th. Closes also on August 6th, and it's 4 all-breed shows, limited breed shows for groups 1, 2, 3, and 6, 5 obedience trials, 7 rally obedience trials. And then we have out west Cranbrook and District Kennel Club, and that starts on the 27th and it ends on August 24th, which is my brother Raymond's birthday.
You like to push those birthdays, don't you?
I do. We got some birthdays going on.
Show.
And then closing date is August 6th. Well, if anybody wants to send in their birth date, I'll announce it. It's 3 all-breed shows, limited breed shows for groups 1, 3, and 5, 6 obedience trials, and 6 rally obedience trials. And then we have Prince Albert Kennel and Obedience Club in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, starting on August 26th through the 28th, closing on August 25th, and that's 6 all-breed shows. And we have the Windsor All-Breed Training and Tracking Club. Oh, that's the first time we've had one of those then. Tracking Club. In Kingsville, Ontario, starting on August 28th, ending on the 30th, closing August 12th, and that's 4 all-breed shows, 2 rally obedience trials. Cornwall District Kennel Club in Ingleside, Ontario, from the 28th to August 31st, closing on August 11th, and that's 4 all-breed shows, limited breed shows for groups 1, 3, 5, and 7, 4 obedience trials, and 2 rally obedience trials. And then we have Saskatoon Kennel and Obedience Club. My mom grew up in Saskatoon for a while, eh? Did I ever tell you that?
No, didn't know that. I was not aware of that. Yeah.
Yes, they moved out there.
That's where my dog Beef was from, Saskatoon.
Yes, I know. And they moved out there because her older sister had asthma, and it's dry out there, so it helped with her childhood asthma for all those who care. Anyway, starts on August 29th, ends on August 31st, closes on August the 8th. And that's 3 all-breed shows, limited breed shows for groups 1, 3, and 7, 3 obedience trials, and 3 rally obedience trials. Then we have Skaha Kennel Club. I don't know why I always like saying Skaha.
I don't know why you do. It's a very musical sounding kennel club.
It does. Skaha. Anyway, in Summerland, BC, Friday, starting on August 29th, ending on September 1st, and it closes August 13th. And it's 4 all-breed shows, 4 obedience trials, and 4 rally obedience trials. And then we have in Bible Hill, Nova Scotia, the Halifax Kennel Club. Starts on August 29th and ends on the 31st. Closing date is August 13th, and it's 4 all-breed shows, 2 obedience trials, and 2 rally obedience trials. And then we have Essex County Kennel Club in Kingsville, Ontario, starting on the 30th, ending on the 31st, and that closes on the August 12th. And that's 4 all-breed shows. Ta-da! So that's the upcoming shows brought to you by Canuck Dogs, your source for Canadian canine event information online.
But wait, that's not all.
That's not all. I always wish it was all, but that's not all.
But wait,
so just
that's not all. If you act right now, she'll read off the reminders for closings.
Yes, I will. So, Barrie Kennel and Obedience Club closes next week, Friday, July 18th. This Friday, pardon me, this Friday. Tomorrow, it closes tomorrow at 8 p.m. And the show secretary is MJN Show Services. Also, MJN Show Services has the Grey Bruce Kennel and Obedience Club closing on Monday, July 21st. That's my cousin Zoe's birthday at 8 p.m.
Bimbo, bimbo, I'm happy birthday clown, bimbo.
Bimbo. And then we have, my dog show, the North Shore Dog Club, closing on Wednesday, July 23rd at 6 p.m. or when the limit is reached, which it doesn't. The show secretary is Chris Brown. And remember, cash prizes, folks, cash prizes at my show. Lots of cash prizes.
Chance to win $1 million.
Well, it's $1 million view. I'll give you that much, though.
All right.
You get to see the sleeping giant right from the shores. Also, Manitoba Canine Association closing on Wednesday, July 23rd as well at 9 p.m. The show secretary is Corinne Walker. And then we have Glacier View
Are
Kennel
they the same
Club.
dates? MCA and North Shore?
No.
Okay.
MCA is the weekend after my show.
Okay, good.
Yes. And then I have Glacier View Kennel Club at some reason or another. Oh, right here. Closing on Wednesday, July 23rd at 11 p.m. And the show secretary for that show is Lisa Tremblay. And that is it. That is it for upcoming closings, folks.
Oh, wait, that's not all. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, it is. And the screen goes black. Okay. So yeah, so that's, we have a busy summer coming up here.
We do.
Yeah. I'm going to I'll be at 2 shows in like 3 weekends because we have our Lakehead show, which is not this weekend we were talking about, but next weekend. And then we have a weekend off, and then I have my show that I help organize and run.
Club that you belong to.
The club I belong to, yes. I belong to a club, so I know the pains and the trials and the tribulations.
So do we carry on with the agenda, or did we adjust it?
No, we're making an insert. So we're going to talk about last week's question, remember?
Oh, that's right, yes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about last week's question. And the question of the week, as always, is brought to you by ProPlan. Fuel the champion in your dog.
Okay.
Yes. So
last week's question was, we already know there's too many shows in Canada. We already know there's too many shows in Canada. That's a problem. What are some realistic solutions?
Yes.
So we asked for some realistic solutions that would actually help. Like, not that we don't. We have a smart fancy, so I wanted to find out what they came up with.
Yes.
And Jill Taylor, who
friend of the show,
very close friend of mine, I think she's very smart. She says clubs merge and get better panels. And if clubs do merge, there'll be less. There won't be a need for so many judges, and judges won't be so busy. You'll be able to change your panels more often.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And Leanne McIver, also, she says, it may be time to address the limited shows that don't fill. There just isn't a need to have 6 6 shows in a weekend, clubs could form clusters.
Cluster is the bottom line. That's interesting because a few years ago, there was some talk. I don't know if it became official or not, but if a club didn't reach its limit, if it
Yeah.
had a limit of 175, not in remote areas, you can't include remote areas, but in inactive areas, if they don't reach their limit, then they're not allowed to have a show the following year. So they have to take a year off and build back up again and try to get it stronger again. And when you think about that, that makes a lot of sense.
It does.
It
It
does. And
does.
I can't remember who came up with the idea. It might have been Bob Whitney, but I can't remember because Bob does come up with a lot of good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's important. And it's not a punishment. It's just, okay, you need to get stronger and take the time to get stronger.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
fix the problem so your show doesn't just become another little show that has a small attendance. So
because like to me that's been the thing, like these limited entries for shows, when I worked for you, how many of those did we do?
I don't think we did any.
I think we did maybe like for the amount of years or the amount of time I spent with you, I think we did one.
Yeah.
I think
like
we did
when I showed
one.
Piper
And I can't
won
remember
all those
where.
best in shows. Piper won like 101 best in shows, and he never won a limited best in show.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. And I do. And I remember when they were starting to hand out those limited entry shows, and I remember lots of people saying that was going to be our detriment. And
there's no question.
I'm sorry. I believe that this is why we're at the place we're at now.
Because I wrote an article when that first started happening. I wrote an article that was called "The Doomsday Clock is Ticking for Ontario Dog Shows." And that's what I was talking about. I think I started off with a stupid line like 3 shows a day, hose me down, because that's what it felt like, right? So,
because we used to say that all the time. Yeah. What would Kendall Wharton? I think it would be beneficial for CKC clubs to also start considering events in the wider dog community. Myself and many of my friends who are active in both CKC conformation and performance events through other organizations, and we're fairly regularly electing to attend the performance event over the CKC show, or we're prioritizing shows that also offer more performance events over ones that don't. It's worth our time and money more if we aren't just attending a show. I think CKC clubs should attempt to avoid hosting events on the same weekend as other events, especially ones that aren't offered as often, such as barn hunt or lure coursing. Doing so might also force smaller clubs to develop cluster shows, which I also think would be beneficial. And CKC clubs should look at offering at least one performance event at every show. Something to consider.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. It's no question.
Because also, I mean, I will tell you this, it's one thing to watch dogs run in a circle, but if you're watching a dog do barn hunt or agility or even obedience, that's a lot more entertaining for the general public, who we are still trying to entice to come to the dog
diving. Dog diving is always fun.
I went to that the couple weekends ago when I went to Minnesota. I love going to that show because they have 2 things there. They have duck diving and they have fast cat, which is the speed, like, running. And it was too hot for my dog to run because she's an idiot and she would exhaust herself. But I love watching. I stand and watch duck diving all the time. And I get so excited, especially if I see a breed, like if there's a noof about to go duck diving, like holy moly, man. I am like,
not in the splash zone.
Right. But it's just, and even going to watch the fast cat. It is so fun to watch all the different breeds that will run. Like watching a dachshund do fast cat is hilarious.
Oh, someone sent me a video on dachshunds doing their job hunting. It's incredible. It's incredible to watch them go. Instincts take over.
Oh, for sure. So, I think, and I know I'm talking about my club a lot, but we try to have an agility club come out because we have a really big field and we don't use it all. We try to have an agility club come out and run demonstrations all weekend to draw the general public.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they wander down to the dog show, and then they get to talk to the breeders, and this, that, and the other thing. And it's a wonderful way for interaction. And I mean, that's what we need to start working on. Getting everybody.
It builds camaraderie, makes people want to
Yep.
be together at such
Yep.
events.
Yep.
Wallace Addison White wrote, "I think if clubs concentrated on better panels, not having repeat judges, it might attract more entries instead of needing two shows in one day." And that's become a common factor as well that people are complaining about, which we're going to talk about later on in this show, about the repeat of judges.
Yeah.
And we saw a lot of it during the COVID time, and that was sort of a necessity because we just needed dog shows back.
Yeah.
But part of the problem people don't realize is with there being so many shows, all the judges are busy. So you've got to almost repeat some of them after their 90-day in between clubs. But it's unfortunate. I think a good friend of mine made this point to me. It comes down, I guess I can say his name, Mike Jalinas said it. It comes down to the judges, him and I and his wife and whoever are judging, using common sense. So if we judged in Ontario, at, let's say, Kingston, and then 91 days later, we can accept London.
Yeah.
Well, use common sense and don't accept London. Don't accept those shows that you're going to see the same dogs, and you think people are going to want to, other than the ones you are rewarded already, they're not going to come.
Yeah.
So you're going to hurt the club and hurt the sport. So before you accept that assignment, look at your calendar agenda from the priors or for future and see if you really should accept that assignment. I know it's an honor to be hired and to do this, to judge dogs, but make sure it's beneficial for the sport. Don't just do it because you can do it because it's 91 days.
Yes, exactly. Heather Williams, here we go. Clubs cluster like AKC. CKC sets out divisions, and clubs within those divisions must cluster. For example, Southern Ontario, take 11 shows down to 3. London KC Friday, Monarch KC Saturday, and Forest KC Sunday. I mean, it sounds harsh, but let's take a look at those entries that have been happening at those shows, right?
Well, you got to look at those entries, and I'm looking at those entries, and those clubs are like they're trying. Like Monarch, I don't think Monarch is in a position to be clustered. They hold their own, but looking at Pass of London and Forest City, they might be teetering, so they might need support from each other. Our friend Ian Rasmussen again. We have the same problem in Australia with too many shows. So it's not just here; it's everywhere.
Yeah. Jean Brunton, she also says directors need to work with clubs for solutions. They need to be more proactive, possibly cluster low entry clubs on same weekend, especially with low entries, stagger their years. One club 1 year, next year the other club. If CKC doesn't do something soon, clubs will fold. And that's, there's nothing wrong with, why don't you have the show this year? We'll do the show the next year.
Yeah. But what gets in the way though?
Egos.
Egos get in the way. And people have to put their egos aside for the betterment of the sport. I know that's a hard thing to do, but
it is.
You put your egos aside and join up with whatever club, or take a break a year and do alternate years. I think there was talk about that as well. That might have been a Bob Whitney idea as well back in the day. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, and Caitlin O'Brien Dyke, she says that our local club decided not to hold a show this year because of historically low numbers in the past few years. We're going to try holding shows biannually. In Newfoundland, the numbers are very small, and historically they always have been, because it is hard to get there.
They don't have a lot of population to draw, dog population to draw
Exactly.
From.
So
and it's a hard place to get to out of province.
So. Yeah, for sure. In Newfoundland, the numbers are very small, and we now have sets of 4 limited shows in April, May, July, October, and November. Our shows are in August, and with being the last set of shows of the summer, most people opt to skip the show in favor of other commitments. And and that's totally understandable, and that's and that I think is that's a good idea. Because then as a club, you're not also, because all clubs worry about, breaking even.
Well, let's face it, if your show is not getting entry and you take a break and start holding fundraising events and building your club's bank account back up while you're not having a show, it makes total sense.
Yep.
I think we should go on to this week's topic now.
This week's topic brought to you by Canadian Dog Fancier, a weekly summary of purebred dog events across North America.
It's brought to us by Dog Fancier, but we're piggybacking off Show Scene because Show Scene had such a good question last week.
They did.
Sorry for that confusion. So Show Scene's question last week was, we've noticed a decline in dog show entries across North America. At the same time, some judges appear frequently on panels within the same geographic regions. Could limiting judging frequency or expanding geographic variety beyond the minimum mileage and time requirements help sustain exhibitor interest and support healthier entry numbers? Now, they put that question out there, and it went crazy.
Wild.
They got over 100,000 views on the page, and I want to thank almost 1,000 comments. Mm-hmm. So I think it's an important question that we need to touch on.
Yeah.
And so how do you think we should best deal with this, Yvonne? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I agree with, I think because what our time limit is 90 days, 500, is it 500 kilometers?
500 and something kilometers. I think it's 350 miles.
Yeah. And yeah. I don't see any problem.
Which is rather large compared to America. America is 200 miles in 30 days.
Yeah.
But they have more shows and a bigger
population. There's more entries, etc. And I do think that if we were to expand, it's tricky though, right? It's tricky for us because of our vastness. And then, do you implement? Can you implement a different rule in the more populated area, such as Southern Ontario? Because in Northern Ontario, it's not going to matter. Honestly, it's not going to matter 350 miles. I mean, I'm still Winnipeg still.
That's still plus, local plus. To you.
Yeah. That's still plus, right? Same with Sault Ste. Marie, still plus. So if you were to increase that area, that amount, it's not going to make a difference. Rarely will you ever find in Alberta, you'll rarely ever find a judge that's going to judge in Calgary. Within that same year, they're not going to go to Edmonton or do Red Deer, which are all closer. Yeah. And then you'd have to look at Vancouver, because I think in BC, they have closer, more shows, but closer together as well, even though the BC entries don't seem to take the hit like Southern Ontario does, right?
I just think because we have so many shows now in Southern Ontario, and on the verge of Quebec as well, but you can't count Quebec because they're their own province, and they should be allowed to have their shows whenever they want. But Ontario, when we have two in the same weekend, driving distance, judges are needed, and that's why you get repeats, because they're running out of options of who to hire to fill these. Because you all of a sudden I have my show, I've got to get judges, and you panic, and they're all already spoken for, so you have to go back to judges that we're just seeing.
Yeah, and the thing is when people are booking judges, when clubs are booking judges, I mean, judges are booking out almost 2 years in advance.
Yeah.
I mean, I know our club, I think we're just starting, we're looking at our 2027 judges already.
I think the bottom line, not the bottom line, but one of the bottom lines is definitely, just like in the previous question that we had last week, clustering will make a big difference to all of this.
Yeah.
To all of this. So I don't know if it's ever going to be viable because of ECOs or the CKC. So I think the CKC, not that they don't care, but if they have a one show that weekend of 300 dogs, or 3 shows totaling 300 dogs, they still make the same.
They're still making the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in the grander scheme of things, they've got to look at the big picture and say, we want the sport to get stronger again, back to our heydays of the 90s, because we had some wonderful shows in the 90s. And I
when
want
I
us to get
worked,
back there.
when I worked for you, coming from Northern Ontario, and even coming from Northern Ontario, I mean, like back in the day in the 70s and early 80s, I mean, we used to get 350 dogs at our shows because the handlers from Eastern Ontario and Winnipeg all came here too to show dogs.
Because there was no other place to go, so they wanted to go to a dog show.
Exactly.
If you build it, they will come.
Yes,
but then if you give them too many choices, it's just watering down the sport.
But when I worked for you in the early 90s, I mean, a small show was 500 dogs.
Yeah, for sure.
A small show was 500 dogs. And that was what, Sault Ste. Marie and Sudbury?
So cluster the clubs, cluster with other clubs. Sharing judges is another idea. Where clubs share judges. Like you tell me one of your shows, Thunder Bay, shares with a club with AKC, in Alberta.
Yep.
And that's important because judges are expensive. You want to bring in judges from all over the world. It's expensive. So if you share the cost with two clubs, you're limiting the cost and you're bringing in new faces.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And that's, and I, being a club member, well, you too, you know how hard it is to get judges, but you know what the cost is. And if you're not bringing in the entry fee money to cover your costs, so these clubs that, are now, dwindling down to 100 to 120 dogs, how are you supposed to cover your location cost, your judges cost, your CKC fees, and every other incidental? Ribbons cost so much money. And if you're not bringing in entry money, how are you supposed to cover so how can you afford to bring in a foreign judge or an American judge? You can't. So this is why they recycle.
Sure.
And
especially if you're against another club that's within driving distance, are you going to take that chance and bring in somebody from UK Ireland, and hope that it raises your entry enough that you can pay some bills, or are you going to get beat up because the club is only down the road from you? It's a tough call, but I think the cluster is a good answer. And then there was another one someone brought in about having a Purina Farms type situation.
Yes,
there was a venue owned by Purina Farms or CKC or Royal Canin, where the clubs could use that as their venues, because venues are getting so hard to get and so expensive. So expensive.
Sure.
You had a great idea about Kenora. I don't know if you want to share that.
Well, I was just, because between Thunder Bay and Winnipeg, there's Kenora, which is a lovely city. And if we could cluster the shows, but see, this is where it gets like you were saying, Quebec is its own province. Well, Manitoba is its own province, and here we sit in Northern Ontario as Ontario, but where do we draw our entries from? We draw them from Winnipeg, or we used to draw them from Winnipeg. We don't as much anymore because Winnipeg got a lot of shows. Now a lot of them are dying. They're going by the wayside too. But if we clustered and had a central meeting point, maybe we could, get back to the numbers that we were used to once upon a time.
So Kenora would be a good spot in the center that would draw from both areas.
And it would even pull I think, from Saskatchewan too. People would even come in from Saskatchewan, because a lot of Saskatchewan people will go to a Winnipeg dog show, and Kenora is only about another 2-hour drive. So
I'm afraid we have to move on. We're running close. So we have a new segment this week. It's called Dog Show Firsts. And that's brought to you by Dog Show Tips. Education is not something you ever finish. So this week on the first is basically a segment about people that have their experience firsts at dog shows, be it a best in show win, be it a new champion, be it a major win in points wise or specialty win, anything that is a first for you an exhibitor. And this week we have Sarah Anton on. because Sarah won her very first homebred owner breeder handled best in show
Oh,
on her
fantastic.
Australian Shepherd. So yeah, so let's have a we contacted Sarah and now we have an interview with Sarah. So here we go. Welcome, Sarah Anton. Hi, everybody. As promised, I have Sarah Anton here with me, and Sarah and Gabby, her Australian Shepherd bitch, won their first best in show this year, and Gabby is owner breeder handled by Sarah. Congratulations, Sarah.
Thank you so much. It
And you also come to my handling class.
I
I
do,
forgot to
and that
mention
was
that.
yes, I do. And that was in part because I really wanted to, finesse my handling skills this year and really show Gabby off because she's a beautiful bitch and I really thought she deserved to be shown properly and I wanted to do it myself versus a handler. Just more rewarding for me personally having bred her.
Oh, for sure.
Right. And she's so fun to show. So yeah, handling classes have been awesome. A little plug for your classes for sure. Um, yeah, the win was pretty cool, I have to say. It came at a time that was really meaningful. I had lost her father 2.5 months prior to that show. I had actually debated not showing, not breeding. I was about to give up on everything just in the moment. And my co-breeder and co-owner and some friends said, "You can't give up. She's beautiful. You waited years and years for this." And so I entered KW. She had just finished at Guelph prior to that, and I was going to be done with her championship. So I entered KW, and we showed, and we just had a great weekend. She was showing beautifully, and I just thought this is so fun. She had won a couple groups. We'd been in Best in Show, I think both the Friday and the Saturday, and on the Sunday she won. And it was just like it just meant so much because I thought, okay, this is what I'm here for. This is what I bred her for. And the best part to me was being in the ring with all those amazing dogs and handlers. And Shelby, who had won Reserve Best in Show, ran over to me, gave me the biggest hug, was like genuinely happy, which means so much as an owner handler. A few other handlers in the ring, just so genuine with their congratulations. So it was really cool. It was really cool.
What went through your mind when the judge pointed at Gabby?
Well, to be honest, when Shelby had taken the reserve, I thought, well, okay, I guess I was hoping for a reserve maybe. So I thought, okay, well, maybe next time. And then she pointed to me and I took a second. I'm like, oh my gosh, she means me. And I was just thrilled. I mean, I know Gabby's deserving of it. I love her as a an example of the breed. So I never doubted her. It was just a shock to me with all those top dogs in Canada to be in there and to win it. So yeah, it was pretty special. And a few friends had stuck around. My vet who had judged hounds that day had stuck around. Like it was neat. It was really neat.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
How long you been in dog sport, in the sport of dogs?
Almost 13 years in Aussies. I had been in obedience and agility long before that. But I got my first show dog 12 and a half years ago. And still from my original mentor and breeding partner. And yeah, just kind of had a beautiful foundation bitch. I don't breed very many litters. I've had 7 litters total. And we've kept 3 dogs over the years, kind of the best examples that we thought. And Gabby was a litter that was 3 years in the making. So for her to have been doing so well, she's number 3 in Canada right now. With limited showing, we just started specialing at the KW show, so that was pretty fun. So yeah, not too long.
Exciting. Any words of encouragement to people that are listening that are striving for that?
Definitely. You always hear from time to time breeder owner handlers saying, or even owner handlers, we can't do it with the pros. It's so hard to compete with them. And it is hard because you guys obviously perfect your craft and present the dogs beautifully. So I would just say keep working at it. Like finessing my handling with you has been a huge benefit. I've had many mentors in the breed mentor me with grooming, how to groom her properly. And honestly, if you connect yourself with the right people, there's so many kind handlers and breeders. And if you get with the right ones that help you, there's no reason you can't do it.
That's great
So
advice. And I
yeah,
agree with it wholeheartedly. Perfect.
yeah, just keep
So
working.
exactly. So I wish you the best of luck the rest of the year. You guys seem to be
Thank you.
sailing pretty well. I saw that you won again on the weekend. So
Yeah, she had a
keep
few
doing
group
it
firsts.
for you.
Thank you. She's a blast. It's just she's an easy dog to show. She's a fun dog to show, and she's really sort of fulfilled that connection I've missed with her dad. So it's been a lot of fun.
Good. Well, congratulations from everybody here at Dog Show Drive and
Thank you.
continued success, Sarah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, that sounded exciting, Sarah, and
Yes.
continued success with Gabby. And it looks like you've enjoyed a renewed vigor for our sport. So that's wonderful.
Yes.
All right, Yvonne, what's next?
Next is let's tell everyone about our question of the week.
Oh, this week's question.
This week's
of the week.
question. Yes. All
Do
brought
we
to you
want to
by
start off with how we got the idea?
during our production meeting.
Yeah,
Because what did we start? We started singing the song, didn't we?
that's right. Yep.
Right.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. And everybody, at least in Canada, knows that song. So.
Yes. So our question of the week, brought to you by ProPlan, fuel the champion within your dog, is what is your favorite dog-related movie or TV show? And if it's Canadian, you get extra points. But think about that. We had a couple, and I think we'll discuss next week, because we are going to run over if we get into our TV viewing, as we know. But yeah, think about what movies touched you. I know there's one movie that I watched that it's the first time I've ever cried in a movie. I think it's still the only movie I've ever cried in.
You're hard not to make cry. I tried lots of times when you worked for me.
You know it.
You
So
were
if
like
I
Cat
cry,
Ballou. You'll never make her cry. Yeah. So next week we'll talk about these. We have a couple iconic TV shows with dogs that we'll talk about. All right.
Yeah.
That's we have overstayed our welcome once again, I think so.
Because we just can't shut up. So don't forget to click like and subscribe to the podcast. Check out our Facebook page where our question is, the Dog Show Drive Canadian edition, and our TikTok account, the Dog Show Drive _Canadian. And that's it. So everyone
take us away.
Everyone driving to a show this weekend, stay safe, keep cool, seatbelts on, glasses on. Bye, guys.
Head Over Heels, written by Jim Cuddy and Greg Keeler, and performed by Blue Rodeo. Is that long enough, Doc?
Yeah, really.